Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Omar Simon Niklaf. We're like a little bit below halfway. Omar Avchanon, Omar Rabbi Yaakov Bar Idi, Omar Rabbi Shua ben Levi, Mishum Bar Kapara. So it's a great start. 2 lines. And it says, Rabbi Gamliel Beis Dino Nimnu. There was a vote. We had a whole sugya. Are you allowed to eat the shchita of a kusi? We said if we have a Yisrael Oimed Al Gabov, we have a Mashgiach Tmidi, yes. We had another thing, we do the taste test, remember? If he eats it himself. So says the Gemara, in the name of Rabbi Gamliel. Now, Rashi points out that this is not the Rabbi Gamliel that you're thinking of. This is actually a later generation. This is below like from the last Tanoim, the son of Rabbeinu, Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi.
Where's your chart?
Yeah, I should have the chart. Correct. The chart should be in here. Rabbi Gamliel Beis Dinoi. He and his Beis Din Nimnu, they voted, mamish like we just did, a vote, Ashchitas Kusi V'asarua. They decided we're not allowing the shchita of a kusi, and the Gemara is going to go into it. Why? Not this minute. Omar le Reb Zera le Rabbi Yaakov Bar Idi. Says Reb Zera, it was a bad move for saying it, messed up a little bit. He tells Rabbi Yaakov Bar Idi, Shema lo shoma Rebbe ela b'she'ein Yisrael oimid al gabav. Perhaps what you're saying over is in a case where there's no mashgiach tmidi, but otherwise if there's a mashgiach tmidi, we could eat the meat of a kusi. Omar le Dami Haimer Rabbanon. You know what you sound like? Like a person like a Amaritz, like somebody that doesn't know how to learn, like you never learned a day in your life. B'she'ein Yisrael oimid al gabav of the Memrabai. We know a kusi doesn't care about lifnei iver le'sita michshol. He learns the pasuk very literal. That it means don't put a stone as a blind person is walking. Do not trip him up. It has nothing to do with tripping people up with halachas and Torah. And therefore, if you don't have a mashgiach tmidi, 100% it's also. That's the whole sugya. Obviously, when Rabbi Gamliel comes and says that you can't eat the meat, he means with the mashgiach tmidi, you can't eat his meat. Kibla minei, like kibla minei, was Reb Zera agreeable to what he said or not? I'm going to prove to you that he agreed with him. He realized that he made a mistake. There's no way that Rabbi Gamliel said that the meat of a kusi is aser when there's no mashgiach. When there's no mashgiach, we know it's aser. Another story. Go from story to story. I saw Rabbi Yochanan she'achal mishchitas kusi. Rabbi Yochanan, like the first Amoira, later on, he ate the shchita of a kusi. He ate the shchita. Ravasi also, Reb Zera himself, who just got himself in a little bit of a pickle when he was yelled at. He says, "You don't even. It sounds like you don't never learned Torah before." Reb Zera was wondering, what happened there? Why did Rabbi Yochanan eat the meat? Is the pshat leishmilu? We never heard about this psak from Gamliel. Do you have a shmilu, have mekabela? Because had he heard it, he would have never eaten it. He would have accepted it. Maybe he heard from Gamliel. And he couldn't care less, and he ate it anyways. Then he said, "Pshat, must be it has to be that he heard it, and he didn't accept it. Why? If you tell me he never heard the halacha, had he heard it, he would have completely accepted it. Impossible. When we learned the sugya, we spoke about every one of those things. So that, how could it be possible that if there's a psak in Bezdin, not to eat this meat, the Rabbi Yochanan go ahead and eat it by mistake? If the animal of Reb Pinchas ben Yair wouldn't eat the wheat that didn't have meiser, tzadikim atzmon loy kol shkein. A tzaddik himself, Rabbi Yochanan would never, ever trip and do it by mistake. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wouldn't let it happen. I don't even know how to say the name. Let's do a quick review. Reb Zera messed up a little bit. He said that what Rabbi Gamliel meant when he said that you can't eat a kusi's hechsher is only when there's no mashgiach. And then he has a problem. He himself, Reb Zeir himself, has a problem with Rabbi Yochanan. How did Rabbi Yochanan eat this meat? Did he know? Did he know about it? Did he not know about the halacha? And it's impossible that he didn't know that he didn't know, and that had he known, he wouldn't have eaten it because a tzaddik is not nichshal. So that's the Gemara on top of Vav Amud Aleph. And if you would think that Reb Zeir did not accept the Musar, in other words, he held, no, Reb Gamliel only paskined in a situation where there's no mashgiach. But if there's a mashgiach, you're allowed to eat kusi meat. What do you ask me a question about Rabbi Yochanan? Rabbi Yochanan ate meat that had a mashgiach tmidi, that had a mashgiach, and that's why he ate it, even after the psak of Reb Gamliel. Reb Zeir took the Musar. He agreed that there is zero difference between a mashgiach and not a mashgiach. Reb Gamliel made a psak, no kusi meat, forever, in any circumstance, even if there's a mashgiach, oimed al gabav, no meat, and that's why he had a problem with Rabbi Yochanan. Shema mino. When my time it goes to Rabbanan, and why did Rabbanan make a gzeira not to eat kusi meat? Reb Meir sent Reb Shimon ben Elazar to buy some wine from the kusi house. So this old man met him. So the famous Tosfos, it's not always, but here we have the Tosfos mamish straight out and it's small. It's the first Tosfos on the Amud, so easy. Yesh mefarshim. When we learn every Tosfos, the kol makom shu maskir husaba hu Eliyo. It's Eliyo Hanavi. V'yesh aloy came a parak b'medlikin daf lamedalid, which is be'uvda the Reb Shimon ben Yochai. The whole story of Rashbi is on Shabbos daf lamed gimel, Lag Baimer, but Tosfos brings lamed dalid. Oh, because today's lamed dalid. Be'uvda the Reb Shimon ben Yochai, mamish. So Eliyahu Hanavi comes and says, Omar lei bisamtu sakin beloyecha. Put the knife right in your cheeks in bal nefesh ata. If you're a person that has a neshama, you're a person that does the right thing, do not drink this wine. Put a knife there. Don't let yourself drink it. So Reb Shimon ben Elazar runs back to him and says, you're not going to believe who I bumped into. I bumped into Eliyahu Hanavi, and he says, don't drink their wine. So Reb Meir says, you know what? If Eliyahu Hanavi says it, let's make Xeria, no wine. So now we have Reb Meir that says no wine. We have Reb Gamliel that says no meat. That's it. They're closed off. My taima, what's the reason? The reason is because they're oivda avodah zara. Who? Not everybody. A few sick people. Why? If you ask anybody that learns the daf, who's the person in Shas that always is concerned with the miut, with the minority? Reb Meir. Everybody knows it's Reb Meir. In all of Shas, Reb Meir says a youngster, a kid that's under 13 should not do yibum. Why? Because maybe it'll turn out that he's going to be a saris. Or the woman, if she's a ktana, you shouldn't marry her. Why? Because she might turn out to be an islandess. What percentage of Klal Yisrael are islanders or saris? Very, very small percentage. Baruch Hashem. So Memela, he's choishish. He is concerned about the minority. So over here also, he's concerned about those two people that bow to the pigeon. And therefore, since I'm going with the miut, with the minority, I'm going to be guys. They're all kusim. They're all going to suffer, and you can't drink their wine. And when it came to meat, they're also concerned about the minority, and they asked her to meat. Says Gemara, we're doing a gadat to Rabbi, I enjoy every minute. I heard that all 140 daf are like this. Besides Basar B'chalav, and I don't know, they're serious. There was three daf in the entire Masechta that we need some good charts. So, Pashli Kura b'Mike Siv, this pasuk that says V'samtu sakin b'loyecha with a sin in Bal Nefesh Ata, what's the simple meaning? B'talmid hayoyeshev v'nei rabbi. You have Talmidim sitting in front of the Rebbe. The Torah Rebbe Chia. Kiseishev lil choim es moishel. So lil choim could be a lashon of bread. Es moishel, you're sitting and learning Torah. Bin tovin es hashel lefanecha. V'samtu sakin b'loyecha. What's going on here in Bal Nefesh Ata? If you know that your Rebbe could answer you well, go ahead, ask him good kashas. get to the bottom of it. He'll teach you the sugi. V'im lav, if not, tovin is asher lefonecha. You should understand on your own. V'samtu sakim b'leyecha, says Rashi. V'im lav, tovin is asher lefonecha ma'atzmecha. B'al tishal v'tivayshenu. Don't embarrass him. You hear this, Noam? In Bal Nefesh Ato, Peroi Shemenu. You should go to another shir. Rabbi Yitzchak ben Yosef Shad Rabbi Avo Lasui Chamra. So Rabbi Yitzchak sent Rabbi Avo to bring wine, Mebei Kusoi, from the Kusi's house. Ashkechei Usaba. Once again, Eliyahu Navi, according to some, is Eliyahu Navi. Omar Lei, Eliyahu Navi tells him, Leis kan shomer Torah. Nobody keeps the Torah here. Nobody keeps the Torah. That means you're done. You can't bring wine. You can't buy wine from him. So Rabbi Yitzchak went and said this over to Rabbi Avo. He said this over to Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Basi. Where did Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Basi live? Where? Who? How do you know? Very good. Yeah. They live in Tveria. Because we had a Gemara in Brachas. They were sitting under those beams there in Tveria davening. What does it mean? We just decided. Remeir made a gzeira on what? On wine. What did we make a gzeira on? The meat. So we already had this in the Tanoim's generation. So why do you need Amarayim later on to do this? So the Gemara, Inu Gazav Kiblu Benayer and Meir and Gamliel, by the way, the Talmidim of Rabbi Kiva from the 5 Talmidim, right? This is today. Mamish today. This is when they started, today. They went, Rabbi Kiva took whatever he had left over, the 5, and he made Torah from these 5. Inu Gozru v'kiblu minayu. Also Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi, Gozru v'kiblu minayu. Nobody accepted Rabbi Gamliel or Meir. Rashi explains why. What do you mean? They're G'dolei Olam. What do you mean you don't accept? Because they were so intertwined in society. The Kusim and the Jews lived together in the same building. They were friends. They worked together. So they couldn't accept it. But in the later generations, when there was already a separation, then they made Xer. Okay, fine, we'll take it. As the Gemara, my goyim gemurim. So this is mamish, that lashon. What do you mean goyim gemurim? He's a guy. What's a goy gomer? If the pshat is he's wearing a blue shirt, I understand. But if the pshat is he's a guy, but he's a goy gomer, that Arab, he's mamish. He's such a guy. He's a goy gomer. It doesn't pass the lashon.
Very pregnant.
Oh, exactly. Says the Gemara, you're right. What's pshat in goy gomer? He's not a goy. A kusi is not a goy. A kusi is a ger. We're going, the whole sugi is a ger emes. He's a real ger. So if he messed up, it doesn't make him a goy. A Jew cannot become a goy. But he's a goy gomer. What does that mean? Because when we're talking about an eruv, this is a chutzner. You have this courtyard, and the houses, they come into the courtyard. So Rabbanan said you can't carry there on Shabbos, but it's private property. No, it's like you can confuse it with the Rosh Hashanah. So what do? You make a eruv chatzeros. You take a meal, you take some challah egg, whatever. You make a meal, and everybody participates in that meal. Now, what happens if you have a goy? The goy cannot participate in that meal. The only way to circumvent that is to rent it from him, to rent his house from him. Otherwise, he can't be a shutaf here. So says the Gemara, these kusim, the goyim gemurim in that halacha, because a Jew could also be in that category. If you have a Jew that's machal Shabbos b'fer hesya, he cannot be mishtatev with the eruv. Or levatel rishus elitim rishus. Just like a goy cannot give up his property, so to this kusim. If a person doesn't believe in certain things, if he's respectful of Shabbos, he doesn't do it in public. He could give up his rishus like anybody else gives up their thing. We're all partners in this. But if he's Michal Shabbos for and even a Jew doesn't have the right. He has to rent it out. Keitzad has a Jew mevatel rishus? Amaloi rishusi knui lach rishusi mevutelas lach kana vein tzarich liskois. Reb Zeir Rasi yikli lepundik diyoi. Another ma'isa. Reb Zeir Rasi, they went to an inn. Who runs the inns besides Netzer from Kanazei? Amaratzim. Yikli lepundik diyoi. We love your answer. So they bring him like shakshuka, some sort of eggs in wine. So real quickly, there's something called Dmai. It's not a scary word at all. Do-mai. It's like an amaretz. So, for the new guys, this is a beautiful chart, redone. When you have 100 fruit, you give 2% to the kohen. You give 10% to the Levi. And the Levi takes from his 10% and he gives 10% to the kohen. Okay? That's what we have to know. And Hamaretz is not a bad person. He's not a learned person. So the 2% to the kohen, the first part he has no problem. It's only 2%, big deal. 10% is already, that hurts. So he doesn't give, sometimes he won't give the meiser part. But most Amaratzim do give. Chachamim made a gzeira on anything that you buy from an Amaretz, such as, let's say, the fruit store here in Ramat Bet Shemesh in the center, owned by an Amaretz. Not a Shem Torah mitzvahs. So you can't rely on him that he gave Trumas and Meisers. So you would have to what? To have a hechsher, etc. Of course, hechsher is hechsher, but what he tells you privately, you can't rely on. So that's called Dmai. You buy from an Amaretz, it's called Dmai. Dmai. What is this? Gzeira, the Rabbanan, that you have to take Trumas and Meisers. Says Reb Zera to Ravasi, how in the world are you eating this shakshuka? It has wine in it. Wine, you have to take Trumas and Meisers. If you bought it from Amaretz, you would have to take your own Trumas and Meisers. How are you eating it? There's a mixture of wine in here. When I eat shakshuka, I'm not looking at the ingredients. I'm not saying, oh, it has tomatoes. I eat shakshuka. I didn't realize, I didn't pay attention that there's wine in here that needs meisers taken from it. Says the Gemara, is it possible that Chacham made a takana you can't eat this demai, and Ravasi is going to eat it by mistake? If the animal of a tzaddik is not going to eat something that doesn't have meiser, so the tzaddik is going to be worse off than the donkey of Pinchas ben Yair? He's going to eat something that needs meiser? He went and he searched up and down and he found you put wine into some fish brine, some the geschmacka food, gala, karshina, this veg stuff. Remember the veg? Oh, where's the veg? Here we go, veg. This is the veg.
Lewis County, Missouri, June the 4th. These guys are busy grazing hairy vetch.
Vetch.
You can watch them do their thing.
They're very excited.
This is tremendous forage.
Tremendous forage. Okay, so it's really a Michael Behem. I'm just trying to show you that animals eat this. But if you wanted to do Karshinim Lasim and Pchinim, Adashim Lasim and Resisim, Chayim Mishum Dmai. Rabbi say if you buy vetch from an Amoritz, you have to take Meiser. If you buy the wine to put into your Murius, you have to take Meiser. But listen to this. Certainly, if the Amaris tells you I didn't take Meiser, of course you're going to have to take the Meiser. This is the point. What if you buy ready-made Murios, ready-made Resisin, ready-made Tchinin, the final product, the Matbucha that we're talking about, the final Matbucha, you don't have to take Meiser. Why? Because it's a mixture. If you buy the solid ingredient, the vetch by itself, fine. But if it's vetch mixed into other stuff and it's already made, then you don't have to take Meiser. And that's why Ravasi was a Nichshal, because Ravasi ate a ready-made thing. Listen, the whole Demai it's a far-fetched thing that maybe he wasn't. Most Amarasim do. So once it's Morav, once it's in a thing, they weren't guys that far. But like goes out is the Mai. What? They weren't. Now the Gemara is going to have a problem with this. You give your neighbor who's a Amoretz. She's the wife in Amoretz. She gives him something to bake. You give her. You know, not everybody had an oven in their house. Very few people had. So you take your wife's sourdough ready to go. You say, here, put it into the oven. Here, take the chunk, put it in. She's not going to go. Amoretz, maybe they're not so makbid on giving 10% of the coin, but they're not going to steal from your child. They're normal people. They're not going to steal, mix up things. I don't have to worry about anything. But if I tell her use your ingredients, that's a different problem. I have to worry about the barley and the spices, maybe it's Shemitah stuff, even if it's a Chullin, it's mixed. It says mefurish over here that you're not allowed to buy Chullin because maybe it has the may in it. So you see that mixed stuff is a problem. How did Ravasi eat mixed stuff? If you tell a woman to do, I want you to make me a Chullin, she becomes your shliach. You can't tell somebody to do the mixture and then say, oh, it's mixed. It's like buying fresh stuff. It was individual stuff, and you told her to mix. That's not okay. Rav and Mama Shani saw the time of it, since it has a lot of flavor. The time like bottle, it's done for flavor in the chon. Flavor is not something that can be bottled. As the Gemara, we're not worried about switching things up, but not. If you give your mother-in-law something to cook, so what do? We're concerned. She's going to switch up the whatever you give her a sourdough, it gets ruined. She's going to switch it up. Why is she doing this? Because she's embarrassed of her son-in-law. She doesn't want to serve burnt chong. So with the son-in-law, she's going to switch it out. Rabbi, I have bad news for you. I think Taisus always asks the question, and I'm going to use Taisus' answer. Nishtanu hatvayim. Things have changed in society over there. There used to be a busha for the son-in-law. Not anymore, Rabbi. Not anymore. My mother-in-law is different. You tell me only by a mother-in-law and a son-in-law she'll switch it out, but in the rest of the world not. But not. Now we're talking about a yeshiva bacher. Literally, yeshiva bacher. The Gemara says before we're talking about a yeshiva bacher. If a yeshiva bacher gives food to his innkeeper, maser shunoisan ves he has to take meiser. Why? She's going to switch it out. So you see, before it's not only a son-in-law; she'll switch out for a yeshiva bacher. Says Gemara, she has a good reason. I want the yeshiva bacher to have a great hot meal. I'll suffer, I'll eat the cold meat. We're not concerned for gezel. What's a chaver? Chaver is somebody who's makbid on tumah and tahara, on maisris. He'll treat Chullin food with tahara. So Eshes chaver, she could grind the wheat with her friend on condition that she's tamei, because when she's tamei, she knows not to touch the food, because her husband's makbid not to eat tamei food, so she's not going to eat anything from the amaretz. When the Eshes chaver is tar, right? The Eshes chaver is tamei, she could grind with the amaretz. When she's tar, she might eat. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, she showed because her friend will give her to eat. He said, listen to this. This is going to drive people crazy. Today it's not like this. They say in halacha it's different. Hashta migzal gozla, her husband gives her something to grind. She goes ahead and she takes her husband's food and she dishes it out to her friends. It's gezel. Chalufim and so if she steals, she'll already switch out from different pots and do different things. Omer Rav Yosef Hasam Nami Mori Amra Torah Medashi Ka'achal. There's a famous halacha. There's an old picture. You're not allowed to have a bull thresh do the disha, work on wheat while his mouth is muzzled. So she says, I'm working for my husband. I'm worse than an ox. You're going to muzzle my mouth? I'm allowed to eat, so I'm going to give to my friends. It's a Hamayra heter. But otherwise, she doesn't steal. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.